Once upon a time, there was an international chef named Chris who lived in a small village in the countryside. He had grown up learning about food from around the world and had dreamed of being an international chef since he was young. So when he finally had the chance to take a trip around the world, he jumped at it. Chris started his journey by visiting different countries and tasting various kinds of delicacies and recipes. Every place he visited, he noted the flavors and ingredients that made each cuisine unique so he could recreate them later. With every meal he ate, he gained more knowledge, experience, and inspiration. On his travels, Chris also learned new, inventive ways to cook, such as baking with clay or roasting meat over an open flame. As he continued traveling around the world, Chris became an expert in combining flavors to create delicious dishes. He even picked up some unique tricks for making exotic meals faster, allowing him to whip up complex dishes in record time. Finally, after months of traveling, Chris returned home and immediately got to work. He gathered all of the ingredients and recipes he had collected and began preparing delectable dishes from around the world.
He presented each dish with pride and cooked with speed, efficiency, and creativity.
Before long, word spread about Chris's extraordinary cooking skills, and the quality of his food started to attract customers from far and wide. In no time, his small village restaurant became a popular destination, and people began coming from all over to enjoy his cuisine. Soon, Chris' reputation began to spread across the country. He was invited to attend prestigious food events, where he dazzled the crowds with glamorous presentations and show-stopping dishes. The crowds were delighted and impressed by his speed, precision, and showcasing of international flavors. Before long, Chris made a name for himself as the fastest, most talented international chef in the business. His restaurant turned into a hotspot, and people flocked to try his creations. Chefs from around the world came to watch, learn, and taste his unique dishes. As Chris developed more interesting, complex recipes, his popularity grew exponentially.
Food critics and celebrities alike were eager to try his dishes, as were members of influential high society.
Chris went above and beyond to provide an unforgettable culinary experience for everyone who stepped into his kitchen.
With demand increasing, Chris opened additional restaurants across the globe.
Every one of them reflected his vision, to bring the tastes of different cultures together, mix them together, and create something special. His innovative flavors kept customers coming back again and again. Despite his fame and success, however, Chris never forgot his humble beginnings. Whenever he visited villages in remote parts of the world, he provided locals with cooking lessons and shared his recipes freely.
He took great pride in teaching people how to make delicious home-cooked meals using fresh local ingredients.
One day, Chris was invited to compete against other international chefs in an exclusive cooking competition. He quickly proved himself to be one of the best contestants, whipping up dishes with skill and speed while incorporating unusual flavors. In the end, he emerged victorious, becoming the first non-professional chef to ever win the competition. Chris' fame and success kept growing, but he remained down, to earth and humble. Everywhere he went, he showed gratitude for the opportunities he had been given. He also generously passed on his knowledge to aspiring cooks, helping them to pursue their dreams as well.
On days off, Chris enjoyed exploring nature and going on adventures.
Whenever he had time, he would go mountain climbing, canoeing, snowboarding, and more. All of these activities inspired him with ideas he would later incorporate into his cooking. In between running his global culinary empire, Chris found the time to invent new recipes.
He organized banquets and dinner parties featuring dishes from all around the world, impressing guests with his creative flair. He also published his own cookbook, sharing his secrets with aspiring chefs everywhere.
But Chris didn't just focus on what he cooked, he also cared about how it looked. He used artistic presentation to showcase his dishes, adding colors and shapes that brought flavors to life. Guests were always mesmerized by his creative presentations and left amazed and inspired. To further support his vision of bringing diverse cultures together, Chris opened gourmet restaurants in different cities across the world. Each one reflected its local culture, yet served meals reminiscent of those found in different corners of the planet.
Whenever Chris gave lectures, countless people signed up to listen to him.
He spoke calmly and humbly, never forgetting the hard work, dedication, and commitment that had been required to get to where he was. And despite his success, he kept pushing himself to be better every day. On his 40th birthday, Chris put together an elaborate feast featuring dishes from all around the world, which he prepared himself with his usual speed and mastery. His friends, family, and colleagues celebrated the occasion and applauded their beloved chef. Eventually, Chris earned worldwide recognition for his work, and all of his years of dedication were rewarded. He was awarded a prestigious award for his efforts in promoting intercultural understanding through food.
He accepted it humbly, knowing all of his hard work had been worth it. Like all good stories, Chris ends happily ever after.
He continues to strive to bring cultures together with his food, teaching us all that unity in diversity can be achieved through authentic flavors shared among friends.